S-rated for spoilers and some language. We will spoil some, if not everything we talk about here on A-rated. In addition, on A-rated, some language will not be suitable for younger audiences. Without further ado, welcome to Alright, what's up guys? This is A-rated. I'm your host Randy. And today we have my two lovely guests. We have Kuro.
Well, you called me lovely. I feel touched. What's up, guys? I'm Kuro.
Garrick, go ahead.
And my name is Garrick.
Yeah, and this is A-rated, where we talk about all things anime. And today we are going to talk about Rokka no Yuusha. So let's get it started. Rokka, Butcher is like job, striking, bro. Man. Rokka no Yuusha is a novel to anime adaptation written by Ishio Yamagata. Animated. I messed up again. Animated by Studio Passion.
Calm down, bro.
Rokka no Yuusha.
I'm the butcher here.
Oh my gosh, let me finish. I got this. Basically, this anime aired its first episode on July 5th and ended on September 20th of this year, 2015. Yeah. Summer anime. The anime season of like overhypeness.
I think you are right about that.
I think I am right.
It was pretty overhyped.
It was really overhyped.
It was overhyped. But
2 seasons ago.
That's a different topic. Right now we're going to talk about Rokka. And first thing we're going to ask is, what did you guys think about Rokka no Yuusha?
Well, first impressions, I actually hated Rokka. Well, for one, when I found out that Studio Passion was animating Rokka no Yuusha, I was quite disappointed because this is actually only Passion's third anime which they did, so they're pretty new.
So what other animes have they done besides Rokka? Do you know?
I can't remember the name of the first one, which came out in 2012, and then 2014 they did Rail Wars, and I was hyped.
Okay.
See, oh yeah, I remember that one.
They did Rail Wars?
Yeah, they did Rail Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
That was the first time I heard of Studio Passion. I was like, oh, I've never heard of them before. But Rail Wars looks good.
It did look good.
And if you actually watch it, the animation was quite shat. And so I was disappointed. So when I heard that Passion was doing Rokka, I expected Rokka to be really bad. And so when I watched the first episode, I thought this anime was terrible. So I dropped Rokka no Yuusha. But Randy here, I think it was you. I saw you watching episode 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6 around there, and then
that's when I came back to watch it.
Because I agree with you, is that like the first 4 episodes are like so terribly boring. Nothing happens. And
I felt like 3 and 4 were still okay. 1 and 2 is was my drop point.
I disagree with you. The reason why I only watched 2 is because I thought 1 was at least interesting enough to warrant me watching episode 2. So I watched episode 2. I was like, so boring. I watched 3. I was like, still pretty boring. Episode 4, and they finally got to the temple. I was like, still boring. And then episode 5 got better. For me, episode 5 was where it picked up. But
seeing 6 though, like it really lit my fire for Rokka no Yuusha. So I felt like Rokka no Yuusha once. Like, from episode 3 to 12, I felt like it was pretty enjoyable for the most part.
I never really got into it, to be honest. Like, I never watched episode, I think, 1 through 3. How I got into, like, it, like, recommended to me. Like, when I first looked at it, I was like, man, this does not look appealing at all. Because, 1, I never heard of Passion, like Sue said. And 2, the first episode, I watched it. I was like, this thing's really bad. I couldn't get into it. And then I dropped it immediately. And then how I got kind of back into it was I'm hearing all the overhypeness of it. My cousin's watching it, and then at my house, and I'm just like, what the heck are you watching? She's like, oh, it's Rokka. It's so good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, why? I'm like, this thing's hella bad. And so then I started watching it, just kind of clips of it, and I'm just like, okay. And she's just like, every episode, I was like, what happened? And then she's like, oh, this thing, like, blah. And I'm just like, to me, it's like they didn't get very far. So it's very slow. It was very slow progression with every episode.
Very slow start. Yeah, with Rokka, it's like I'm like the same way too. It's like, see, because I dropped it at episode 5 because I thought it was just too boring to watch.
You dropped it at 5?
I dropped it at 5.
You got farther than me.
Yeah, I dropped it at 5 because it was boring to watch. And then got a couple friends saying, like, oh, all the League of Legends guys love it. Like Darius, C9's High, C9's Balls, Darius from TSM watches it. And I was like, huh. And then I kept hearing stuff. I like go on Anime News Network, and they always like praise Rokka so highly. I'm like, what's up with all the hype with Rokka? Now I have to watch it just like because now I'm curious of why people think it's good. Yeah. And then that's when I marathoned it up to episode 10, and then I watched it week to week, or I would just watch the final 2 episodes on a week basis. So.
Surprisingly enough, I feel that Rokka is not that good of a week-to-week anime.
No.
No, because it takes too long to progress week to week. If you marathon it, I think it would be better.
It was really way better
as a marathon anime.
I marathoned it with Sue. We just like stayed up like all night. He was watching it one night. I'm just like sitting there, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just watch it. And then I'm just like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, because the anime like starts to pick up around the midway point of the anime, which is where I'm gonna ask my next question to you guys. Is like, basically, what are some high points in this anime for you guys? What are some of the things that you liked a lot in this anime?
Well, for one, the one that I was telling you about when I was watching it with you, episode 6, where Adlet had that conversation with Flamey around the fire pit. That was a pretty good episode for me because just like Nasha Tanya, she was kind of like the poster girl, and she didn't really sell it for me.
No.
But Flamey and Adlet, they just seem to have this, I don't know.
There's chemistry.
Chemistry, yeah. That's the word I was looking for. It made it really enjoyable to see these two talk and learn about each other.
It's because they were very similar in character. They had like kind of like a similar past. That's why Adlet kind of like could relate with her. And it's like, you know, you were alienated, by, being part human and part demon or fiend, whatever you want to call it. And then, Adlet was, also alienated, and he had his hardships too. And that's why I felt like, that's how we could see the chemistry work so clearly with them together, because, they both had hard past relationships and they couldn't trust anyone.
I'd say they had some similarities, but I wouldn't say it's completely the same.
No, it's it's not, but that's why it's similar. They both had hardships.
I guess what Garrick's trying to say is they fall under the same vein of kind of being...
not trusting humanity.
Kind of living that solo life as a child.
And suffering.
I wouldn't say he didn't trust in humanity. I swear Adlet trusts in humanity.
Yeah, I mean, he was forced to by his masters. Don't you remember how his master was like... spoiler. Well, no, he was like, you gotta smile. You gotta smile. He's punching the shit out of him and being kicking him. I mean, the kid's starving and he's like on death's door. And he's like, if you keep sulking and everything, you're not gonna be positive and you're not gonna get anywhere in life. You gotta keep smiling. And you gotta keep pushing forward. And that's what his master taught him. And that's why Adlet always smiles, even though he's fucking like caught up, chopped up, and everyone doesn't trust him. Everyone wants to kill him. He still smiles and he tries to push forward.
Well, I know that part, but I'm just saying that, like, Adlet had a different childhood. Because when he was a kid...
backstory-wise, I think they are fundamentally different.
Yeah, they are. You just...
But I get what you're coming from, Gary.
They are similar. They are similar on their... on.
I don't know if Sue gets what you're...
No, Sue doesn't get it. That's why he's arguing with me.
I don't think it's... close enough. For one, I felt like Adlet was just trying to find a reason...
Reason to live?
To help Flamey because he was in love with her. He didn't know like why he was so attracted to, like why he tried so hard for her. And then like after a couple episodes, he was like, oh, you know what? I didn't realize it before, but I'm actually like in love with you. So he was like just finding reasons to actually like help her.
Weirdly enough, I didn't really enjoy the Adlet Baxter episode too much. I probably didn't pay too much attention watching that. Because what I cared more about were the character interactions. The character interactions themselves, I thought were better than the backstory episodes.
Yeah,
I can't disagree with you on that one.
You were saying, Sue?
No, I don't think I was gonna say much. Yeah.
I was just gonna chime in on saying that, but that's why I think the reason why I kind of fell for it because he could feel that kind of connection and that chemistry that you were talking about earlier. That's why he kind of felt attracted to her or falling in love with her.
Okay, let me ask you this: do you think Adlet fell in love with Flamey because she was somewhat mysterious? I mean, at the beginning when they first met. maybe he was curious, and then when he finally knew what she was, he was like, I get it.
I want to say yes. I want to say yes to that because I think the one thing that captivated him was, her smile. Was she smiling when she was looking at that dog?
Well, no, she wasn't,
she was not smiling.
Was she
was
crying?
more sad.
Yeah, she was.
And he was drawn into that. He was able to kind of detect that similarity.
Yeah.
But then ultimately, when they had the argument, way later, Alec found out that she had a deeper darkness to herself.
Yeah.
And then for her to have that compassion towards living things is like, Alec's like, whoa, you're hot now.
Well, I think that is like a personal touch because he wants to save humanity and he wants to protect. He puts others before himself, and I think Flamey does the same thing in her own way. And that maybe draws an attraction.
I disagree because they don't show it in the anime yet.
They haven't shown it in the anime yet.
I mean, I know it's a novel. I'm pretty sure the novel's popular. Hence the reason why I got the anime in the first place. But if they ever do a second season, I'm pretty sure they'll touch up on it. But I think as far as the anime goes, not really for Flamey. I have to disagree with that.
I swear Flamey doesn't care about humanity at all. If anything, I felt like she was trying to find a reason to live.
Oh, yeah, she was. Yeah.
But she was trying to refuse help because she couldn't believe in anyone anymore. But then, Alec kind of put hope into her.
And that's why she's like, she's like, I hate you because you did that to me.
Oh, well, I was gonna say that she didn't actually care for other people.
No, you're right.
That's a fair point. Yeah, what'd you say?
What, the last thing I said?
Yeah, the last thing I
said. She hates Adler because he put hope into her.
Oh, it's like that hate that I love you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny too. Cause like,
yeah,
hey,
I was like, dang.
But now we know what kind of girl Flamey is. She's a tsundere. she's a quite tsundere.
No, I don't want to label a
or categorize her.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta admit the last episode though when Rolonia came, that one cow chick came in. And
she's like,
Flamey got jealous. He's hitting Adlib. She's a tsundere.
Yeah, she's like, put your hand on my shoulder so that you can heal up. And then Flamey's like, hell no.
Okay, see, no, I have to disagree with that. Ultimately, I swear everyone has a tsundere aspect within their personality. For whatever reason, right? But it's just now that she's able to like him, she's it's difficult for her to come to terms with, expressing those feelings. So she's actually a realistic girl of that age. Rather than stereotyping her as a straight up tsundere, she's just expressing that emotion as a tsundere. Because when anime came out, they basically just stereotyped a character and it was like, oh, this girl's a tsundere and everything she's gonna do is a tsundere. But no, girls are not like that. They have tsundere aspects. All girls should have it, and now she's just expressing it too.
What are your thoughts on that, Randy?
Fair point. But we'll see. The novel's still going on. If it gets a second season, we don't know yet.
Yeah,
we don't know
yeah.
yet. But I'm hoping that she's a tsundere because it'll make
no,
the
she doesn't. You don't have to stereotype her as a tsundere.
If she does become a tsundere, I'm just gonna not like her.
Yeah,
that
you know
much.
what? To be honest, it will be weird if she's a flat tsundere.
Hell yeah.
I don't think it is because
she's not.
No, because the anime is definitely not gonna, or the way the story is, it's just not gonna put that Flamey in that position to be straight up a tsundere. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, Flamey is not a straight up tsundere at all. She's actually kind of realistic.
We'll see,
She
sir.
has different
We'll see.
emotions.
We'll
she
see.
can actually hate the main dude.
We will see.
I'm just joking with her being a tsundere. It's not serious.
Yeah.
It's just something that I picked up watching the last episode.
I can't let you guys label.
I was thinking she was a tsundere too, but
you know
we'll
why Sue's disagreeing with this? Because Flamey's is his favorite girl.
Exactly.
So he wants Flamey to stay as she is.
Well,
but it makes sense.
If you did this for any girl that I thought was realistic, I would try to back them.
I get what you.
Yeah, you would back them
I
if
get
you know what I mean.
No.
Alright, man. Besides Flamey, what other characters did you guys at least find interesting?
I like Gondorf. Is that his name? Goldorf. I like Goldorf. I liked his character design. I liked the aspect that he was kind of like as Sue puts it earlier in the conversation we had, a strength tank, or I want to say kind of like a warrior
bruiser.
A bruiser.
He's a bruiser.
Yeah, I just
When we talk league terms, he'd be a bruiser.
yeah. If League of Legends turns, he'd be a bruiser. He's the kind of champion or character that I would particularly like enjoy, and I also liked, like I said, his character design. I liked his sword aspect and his kind of like his power that he had, of his strength that he showed in the anime. So I mean, he didn't get too much screen time, so we don't know the full extent of his power and everything. But from what he showed, I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Goldolf, I have to disagree with you. I didn't enjoy him too much because he has like no spotlight, and you don't get enough development with that character. All you know is that he really likes Nashitanya.
Yeah, that's the only unfortunate part.
If I had to pick a side, I'd put Goldolf on the dislike side, because Goldolf, he doesn't really have a personality of his own. He does, but he doesn't express it because he'd rather just serve his mistress.
Yeah, he's like a slave.
Much. So, well, he's not a slave, he's a servant.
Oh, a servant, yeah.
And he has choices too, and Nashitanya has like asked him questions, and finally when he was like questioning her decision, she would like put out her command, and he would just, get on his knees and listen. So Goldolf, a character to me, he's more dislikable than he's likable. But I wouldn't say I hate him.
Yeah.
Because I expect development for Goldolf.
I mean, you have to.
What did you think of his character design then?
His character design's okay.
It's okay.
I
see everyone maybe besides like the girls, like maybe besides like Mara or Flame, you have like, or even Ashitanya. Everyone else has like weird designs.
Yeah.
None of their designs really match with each other.
No.
Even they're all from like different countries.
I mean, which makes sense, but then in terms of like
it kind of makes sense for everyone, but Mara is the most different because Mara looks like she's from some holy order from Europe or something like that. While everyone is like from, I don't know, Africa or Brazil.
Freaking Hans is from the slums.
Well, no, Hans is from Europe slums.
Or no, you mean like like Turkey. That's what freaking Adler is clothes remind me of, like Turkish.
I guess, yeah.
Because it's like that tavern look. That's what Adler and Hans remind me of, like a tavern.
And then Nashitanya, she's probably from Akihabara.
Yeah, or something like that.
Oh man, she's a Harajuku girl.
Talking about characters that I like though, my favorite character though is Adletmeyer, because he is like resilient, and even when everyone's doubting him, he still trusts people. It's just like, damn, this guy's like ultimate bro. If he wasn't the main character, he'd be best bro. But the best bro apparently is Hans.
Hans is best bro.
Favorite
Hans
character
is the best bro.
Adlet.
Dude, it's like, if we were playing like Resistance, the board game, basically he has like all the doubt cast on him. It's like,
do you want to explain Resistance at all?
No, we don't need to.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure people can get the reference of Resistance versus spies.
Basically, it's like Mafia. It's basically like he's labeled as the killer or the person who is the bad guy, and then they like put all the doubt on Adler, and then like now everyone is like focusing him, and then he's like trying to gain everyone's trust.
Yeah, but that's why I like Adler, because he's able to go through all that stuff.
That's
the trials and tribulations of
Adler. That's why I like. That's kind of why that's why this anime kind of like re-inspired me to watch it again, because it reminded me of the Resistance game, and it was just so funny. It was just because of the game. If it
Rokka,
wasn't
straight up, Rokka is like straight up just a big game of Resistance.
Yeah. It is such a big game of Resistance.
It's like, dude, they're just like this anime. They're just playing chicken with each other like the whole time.
Yup.
Which is like, okay. But I mean, that doesn't mean that it's not good. I mean, it's actually pretty enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
Do you have to agree with you? Adler is definitely high up there in terms of like likable characters.
Yeah, I did like.
Well, just because he's the main character and everything is in his perspective. So of course you're gonna like.
See, the thing is though, like he's not just main character and everything's given to him. He literally like worked his ass off to survive and to gain everyone's trust. And at the end of the day, he solved the riddle. Or
he almost died.
Literally a riddle, but yeah, he almost died.
He almost died like
three times
or something like that.
Yeah, he's tough, man. That's why I like him.
I did like, he did say at the end, the last episode, he was like, man, if her body wasn't in there, I wouldn't know what to do after that.
I know, he would have been like, he would have been executed.
He would have been like,
he would have been donezo.
And plus, like, at the beginning of the anime, he said he's the strongest man in the world. And I love how they keep on asking him the question. He finally answers it at the end. And I love that they have that closure for us where he finally explains why he calls himself the strongest man in the world. It's because of his endurance, his strength, his skills, and not just that, his luck. So he's like ultimate leader because he has everyone basically trusts him now.
Yeah, everyone trusts him, but now everyone doesn't trust each other too right now because they got a new 7th.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
I mean, technically she would be like the 8th, whatever.
She'd be the 8th.
But that's for later. Right now, yeah, I want to touch back on Hans because I think Hans was like the first one to get Alec's trust because they had the 1v1, and there's a reason why. Like, Hans' best bro is because after Alec gains his trust, they become like butt buddies, and they literally do everything together after that, and they help each other out. And like even Chamon was like, because it was a 2v1 episodes of Alec and Hans versus Chamon, and then they're like 2v1 Chamon beat Chamon, and then Chamon is supposed to be like the super strong mage that could summon things.
She's like, her power is so weird. Like I was like, what the heck's that wand? And then she sticks it down her throat, and then
it's not a wand.
It's whatever it is. The thing that she uses.
It's an equipment. It's a piece of equipment.
It's a piece of equipment. She sticks it down her throat, and then she starts vomiting up, and then that's her summoning power. I'm just like, what? And then they said, oh yeah, she's the strongest mage. I was like, what? And then I didn't think her minions that she summoned were very strong.
But Hans though, that episode where he 1v1's Adlet was like my favorite episode because
that was good.
Because he loses to Adlet. Because Hans is looking around, and if like Alec had traps, he got baited. And then like Alec knew that he didn't know about the spring sword. He could have killed Hans, but he chose not to.
Yeah.
And then Hans went for the kill, but then he's like, "I saw your facial expression. It's like you're an honest man when you're about to die, so I trust you now. You're a good guy."
See, when you guys saw that and you guys told me that Hans was best bro, and I watched it, and I can't agree that he's best bro in general. I guess he's best bro in terms of Rokka no Yuusha.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad. In terms of
Thank
Rokka no
you,
Yuusha.
Yeah, I mean in terms of Rokka, but in terms of like best bro, like through the entirety of anime, it's like
when you guys called him best bro, I expected him to solve like a bunch of questions and just like straight up trust Adlet. But then Adlet had to beat him first for him to trust. So I'm just like, oh, that's not that best bro. He's a bro. But he's not best bro.
He's best bro in Rokka. That's the context I'm trying to
There's only 2 bros though. There's either Godov or Hans, and we all know Godov's a pansy, so it can't be Hans.
Dude, Godov is obviously not best bro. But I do see why people like Godov. But I do like Hans a lot more.
Yep.
And
Hans
apparently Hans is like at least the most popular guy character, so I've heard.
I think the reason why he's the most popular is because he's kind of like he has like cat-like aspects to him, and a lot.
It's a lot more than that.
I'm saying that's kind of a little. That's like a little like. If you want to say like popularity, I want to say like maybe like a 10% popularity. Like that's what. Oh, I like that because they like the. What are those people called? They're like cat people. Neckos. And that's kind of what Hans is. He's kind of like a Necko, but he kind of is because he has a tail. He is a Necko. So
that's not the reason why I like him.
No, not yours.
I don't like his design, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't like his design.
No, but Necko fans love that. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Not only that, he's an assassin.
Yeah.
If you compare assassins to engineers, and you ask someone, like, would you play an assassin or an engineer? Most people will say assassin.
Okay, I'll ask you guys this right now: assassin or engineer?
Engineer.
So,
assassin.
I go assassin.
I go assassin. But in terms of design alone, I like Alec more than Hans.
No, from my perspective, I like the engineer because of the complexity of the class. I guess you can say.
But it's so like it's not flashy though. The reason why people play assassins is because it's flashy.
Yeah, but I don't play characters for flashiness. I play it for like.
Plus, assassin is simplicity too. It's just speed, kill. That's what it is.
That's kind of why
high damage output, which is basically what Hanzo does.
Yep.
He's fast. He has high damage output because he nearly kills Adlet on their first encounter after they accuse Adlet.
Heck yeah!
And then like he beats Chamod with Hans's help. So I mean, Hans and Adlet both beat Chamod. They team up. So that's what I mean.
See, although it's like that, even though like Adlet almost lost. With like all his gear, and if Adlet was fighting to kill, Adlet would beat Hans.
Yeah.
But Adlet wasn't trying to kill him. and he didn't have all his equipment, so that's why he was losing.
I think Adler is definitely the most clever character out of the bunch.
Yes,
Yeah.
The most strategic character out of all of them. He's the strategist pretty much.
Okay, so back to what Garrick was saying, how like in the anime they said the strongest of the 6 was Chamon, and I can agree with Garrick that I don't think Chamon's the strongest. I actually felt like the strongest was Mara.
Yeah, I think that
Mara.
the way Chamo is written, I can see where she's the strongest, but she hasn't showed us that she's the strongest in the anime. So I can't believe that too. It's like
she can 1v2, almost 1v2, but once I saw, like, I kind of believe
she's like too susceptible. How do you say? Susceptible to outplays, and she got outplayed by Hans and Adler.
Well, it's 1v2, but like she has enough like strength
minions?
or enough special ability to beat 2 people. So I guess that's why they say she's the strongest, because in a 1v1 they'd probably lose to her. But when I saw Mara show off her abilities, I'm just like, man, Mara is like super strong. There's no way Chama can win against Mara, because if she just threw out her area of effect abilities, it would just destroy Chama. And Chama is slow. She's small. She's weak. It's just her minions that outnumber people that makes her stronger than the other people. So her ability alone is good, but physically she's just far superior. Inferior.
Maybe well, I also brought this question in a different discussion we had. How about like she's maybe labeled the strongest because she's a child compared to them being like
no, it's not just that. Like when they had the discussion inside the temple, they're literally saying,
yeah, they are.
No one can beat her. Yeah, that Shama was like
she's the strongest. Even if she was a kid, she was stronger than them.
I'm just throwing that possibility out there because she's a child. That's why
I don't think there's that.
Like she has potential or something like that. That's why I'm throwing it out there. But I completely agree with you saying that she from what she's shown, she seems not the strongest or weaker than the strongest.
I mean, if that's the way of portraying Shama in the anime, it's like, I don't think they did a good job.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't portray her as the strongest because I actually thought she was super weak when watching it.
Okay, see, if I had to rank the 8 of them, I feel like Chama would be number 3.
Number 3?
Number 3.
Why?
See, okay, if Chama 1v1'd Adler will lose. Because he doesn't have enough piercing power and speed to go past all the minions. And then it's the same for Hans. They can't handle like hordes. They can only like 1v1. And then Goldov is super slow, so like Goldov would never get around.
The only thing Goldov would have is splash damage.
He can do like a cleave swing.
Yeah.
That's gonna kill like a wave, but then the next wave should be ready for.
Yeah, he's hella slow. And then
Flamey,
Flamey already lost. She's slow and she's a ranger.
The thing because Flamey, she has to summon the bullet and then she shoots.
And she has to stay distant. Like her specialty is range, and she can't kill those things.
So then when she gets swarmed, she's like screwed.
Close quarters is like she has to run.
Well, no, if she's even far,
if she's far, she can't win either because those body blocking fiends will just.
Well, and then the minions will eventually get to her and then just
she can never kill Chama. That's why she loses to Chama.
Yeah. So
that's 4 down.
How about Nashatanya?
I see. Those are the 2 that I feel that are stronger than Chama. Nashatanya and Mara. I actually feel like Nashatanya might be the strongest.
Because of her caster ability? Her caster ability is
her swords come out of nowhere.
They're hella broken.
Dude, she swings once and like a million swords pop out.
She doesn't need the minion count. She could just swing a sword and then it'll appear where Chamat is and kill her because Chamat is super slow. So Chamat will get destroyed with Nashatanya.
And then also she needs the time to summon the minions.
Yeah, she doesn't need time to summon the minions. The minions come out pretty fast if you like watch near the end. But like the minions are super slow, so they can't even catch up to Nashatanya. And so it's a toss-up between Nashatanya and Mara. But even then, I think Mara loses to Nashatanya.
So your ranking be...
Number 2, then.
What would your ranking be?
It's...
Nashatanya would be 1.
1 to 8. It's 1...
Well, obviously, Rolonia's not going to beat anyone.
That's true. Rolonia is last.
We're writing her off right now.
It'd be Nashatanya or Mara for 1 and 2. It's a toss-up between that. And then number 3 is Chamon, because no one can 1v1 her, besides those first 2. And then 4 would be
Atlet.
Atlet is actually really strong and really good. Then who's next? It's
either Hans or Goldhoff.
And
that's it. Or Flamey,
right?
Yeah, Flamey.
I believe so.
Oh man, that's
something like that. I mean,
I feel like
the rankings aren't gonna be accurate. Everyone's gonna have different rankings, but
right,
even the characters themselves have different rankings. But then the way the anime execute is just like, it doesn't. I don't think we would see it that way.
It'd be, man, it's a toss up between Hans and Flamey, and then Goldhoff would be last.
You think Goldhoff?
I think Goldhoff is the weakest.
No, I think Goldhoff. I think
Goldhoff's the weakest.
I think Goldhoff could handle Hans 1v1 because Goldhoff. Okay, they won't be able to kill each other. That's the thing, is what I'm saying. Because Goldhoff is tanky enough to survive Hans, but then he's too slow to hit Hans.
I think Hans has just the slightest edge against Goldhoff.
Yeah.
Experience-wise, Hans, like, you can tell Hans is better than Goldhoff.
Yeah.
So Hans would win. And then it's a comparison between Flamey to the other two. And I feel like Flamey
would lose to Hans.
Flamey would... She might lose to Hans.
That's
what I don't know.
No, I think she would because her speed is low, and his speed is relatively high, is way higher than.
But it's also range versus melee. That's why I can't tell. But then that's why I'm saying Goldhoff would be last because Goldhoff like has something like he lacks something compared to the other
in terms
two.
of what they've shown us in the anime. I do have to agree with Sue that Goldhoff is ass because he hasn't shown much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's just like pure brute force, run at you, try to swing at you. But like Hans can kill and he's fast. Flamey has range and she can kill too.
Yeah.
So I feel like they both have something that Goldhoff doesn't.
Then would Hans be 5th then, and then Flamey like 6th, and then Goldhoff last?
Oddly enough,
I don't
in
know.
my opinion, I think Hans would be able to beat Flamey.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm leaning more towards Hans, but I don't know for sure.
I agree with that because I feel like Hans could catch her and then.
Okay, Hans' specialty, like the advantage that he has over Flamey is speed and the ability to dodge and the ability to get to your opponent. But Flamey's advantage over Hans is
range.
No, it's not just range. It's also their kit. Hans only has like a couple of knives and his 2 swords.
Yeah, he has that.
Flamey has smoke,
like big daggers, and then he has like little knives.
Yeah,
that's it.
Flamey has smoke. She has her gunpowder. She has bombs. She has like
traps.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure because Flamey has way more utility, and she has just as much kill power.
Doesn't Hans have some utility?
No,
Hans has no utility.
All he has is speed and
He's
offense.
on speed and like his blades. Like he can probably kill a person real quick, but it takes him longer to kill a monster than other characters would, because he's light. But then Flamey's single bullet can like take out a single Akuma or whatever they call it in that world.
Demon, whatever.
Demon, yeah. So she has more kill power than Hans. That's why I'm just like, it's a toss up between the two. But Goldhoff is really slow. He can only kill what's in front of him. So that's why he
just has cleave. He has Titanus. What is it? Titanus Hydra.
He's like. Enough with the league references. We don't need that.
Yeah.
So what is the final ranking? Just decide now.
You go. All right. Nashitanya, Mara, Chama, Atlet,
Hans.
This
Flamey.
I want to say Flamey.
Fine,
Hans and then Goldhoff.
Okay.
That's my ranking. I don't know what you guys think, but
I think
that's a fair ranking.
I think that's fair.
I'll agree with that.
But enough with the characters and their skill sets. We talked about enough about the characters. The one thing we haven't talked about yet is the story.
I guess
we talked about some character moments, but we haven't talked about the actual story yet. Sue, let me know, what is the actual story?
Why you ask me, man?
Because you're the expert.
I'm terrible at synopsis, dude.
You don't have to be like spot on. Just give the listeners an idea.
Basically, Demon Lord heroes show up, have to kill Demon Lord, but like heroes are selected. 6 heroes are selected to go and fight the Demon Lord. But
isn't he about to revive though?
Yeah, he's about to revive.
It doesn't matter. I'm just keeping it simple.
Yeah,
okay,
Demon Lord, 6 heroes are chosen to go kill Demon Lord, but then they all meet each other. Then there
at the rendezvous point, 7 show up.
7 heroes.
So now they have to figure out.
So they know one is a fake. So one must be serving demon
One's a
orders or
spy.
Yeah,
Or for
one's
some
a
reason.
spy, but that's basically the whole
something.
anime.
So it becomes like a battle royale amongst the 7 of them. Wow, but the Adlet is not trying to fight them. He's trying to gain their trust.
Because he's got the spy like he's got the
Yeah.
doubt and the blame on being the
So,
spy.
I mean, essentially what happens in watching this anime is that basically, let's see, who are the first ones to make it to the temple?
it was
It
Hans.
was Adlet. It
is
was
number
Adlet.
one.
Adlet was the only one. He was the first one.
You know, I thought who
Adlet is the very first to get there. The second to get there was Nasha Tanya, I believe. I swear she was there to confirm that he did that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
it was Nasha
Golduck
Tanya,
was
Golduck.
behind. And then Flamey, he showed up. And then next was
Hans.
Chamon.
No, it was
It was Chamon. Because remember at the very end,
Yeah,
she got
Hans,
in there,
yeah.
the plate, she said she guaranteed that Mara didn't break the plate or whatever it was, the tablet. Because she was there and it was already broken. And then it was Mara and then Hans.
Yeah.
Hans was the last.
Alright,
Because
yeah.
that's when you were like, whoa, there's 7 of them.
There's 7, yeah, and that's the basic premise of Rokka is that there's only supposed to be 6 sprays at this rendezvous point, but there's 7. They have to figure out who's the fake. And that's basically the whole anime in this 12 episode run of Rokka. And I want to ask you guys, what you guys think about it? Just the story.
Well, we finished just the 13 episodes.
12.
12.
Was it 12?
It was 12.
I felt like it was pretty well paced because I felt like once they got to the temple, there was no.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
started
Everything
picking
was
up.
happening,
Yeah.
and in the calm times, I even felt like that was relevant. So, I think it's pretty good.
Pretty good pace. What about you, Gary?
I thought it was good pace after they got to the temple too, but the beginning it was just hella slow. It was just taking way too much time. But like after they got to the temple, it was just boom, boom, a lot of pace.
I don't think it was slow in the first 2 episodes, but everything that happened in the first 2 episodes, I just couldn't care about.
It was just too boring, and that's what I mean by slow. It just took too long to progress.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys like the story, though?
I enjoy it.
I like the story because it reminds me of Resistance.
I
Even
guess that's a word
regardless
for a
of
point,
resistance, regardless of that, I enjoyed
I think
Rokka
the
for what
story's
it was.
okay, yeah.
For me, I would if I didn't play the game Resistance, I would probably not enjoy the story as much.
As much.
You're lame.
Because I like
But
I like
that's because you have a reference point.
I have a reference point and I can relate better to that. But if I was just watching it straight up and I didn't know what the game was, I'd be like, this is like there's too. It's like too little happened. Oh, I want to say like almost too little happened, but a lot did happen though. If you know what I mean by that. Like it took a while for everything to kind of progress, and it almost feels like it needs another season, like or 2. To explain everything, because right now we weeded out the 7th of who it was. That was Nasha Tanya. If no one didn't know,
Spoilers.
So-
Nasha Tanya's the 7th. She's the fake. She's the one working with the demons.
And so then once that happened, we got a new champion has came to the arena. A new character.
A new challenger has appeared.
Yeah.
A new hero.
It's a new hero.
So then
Rolonia.
She's not a challenger. She's not a
So
champion.
Rolonia the healer comes in, and now we got another 7th, and now we gotta figure out who's the 8th spy or the new 7th spy.
Yeah. So I mean that's the gist of the whole story is that they figure out Nasha Tanya, and at the end, the way it ends is basically they bombard you with even more unanswered questions. It's like you.
How about
It's okay. You guys are bothered by it, but I think it's fine because really it's just trying to sell you into
How
the next arc. Either go read it or they might make it.
Yeah.
or how about who?
I mean, essentially, but that's what anime does is that once you get hooked in, they're hoping that you would go read the novels after that.
yeah. Who do you think that dragon lizard crow guy is?
It's obviously
couldn't care
one of the
less.
3 generals.
Yeah.
It's
That
one
guy
of the
does
3
not look
generals that
cool
they're talking about.
anyways.
The guy with the gentleman hat.
Frankly, all the demons look freaking lame in this anime.
Yeah, they do.
I agree, man.
And all the 3D was just bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't like too much 3D animation. There's some that do it, execute it kind of well, but then there's a lot of them that are out there that just it just does
Majority
not.
of them.
The majority of them they're not.
And then
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you with that point is that a lot of 3D doesn't really look that great. But Studio Passione is really small. They just started. I don't think they had a choice with
Yeah.
these 3D.
yeah.
So I guess you have to give
But I
them.
have to admit, like, the freaking demons look so stupid.
Yeah. Whenever the demons showing up, I'm just like, oh.
Because you got like this weird looking gorilla, and then you got a weird looking kangaroo demon. Okay.
What is this, Tekken?
And plus, I wish Nashitanya's blades weren't 3D either.
Yeah, they weren't. They're
Yeah, I didn't like
all
that.
3D.
Yeah, they were all 3D. I was like, what the hell is this?
But ultimately, though, the fights with the demons were boring, but the fights amongst the heroes,
Yeah,
that was
interesting.
that was fun to watch. And
the only fights were like literally like Atlet and
Atlet versus Hans.
Atlet and Hans versus Chamo, and then maybe a little bit of Splash Mara chasing. But that was at like
That was Mara Flaming
was,
versus
like,
Atlet.
Yeah.
You got Atlet versus
A lot
Nashitanya.
of Atlet versus Flamey also.
Yeah.
Those weren't real fights though. Those were just more conversations, and I actually enjoyed that though.
Yeah.
Then you have the first 2v2, which is kind of Atlet Flamey versus Goldolf and Nashitanya, but that like got cut short.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think a lot of the points made pretty well. Like, the 3D is definitely a big, huge negative, I think, in this anime. Like, I couldn't stand the 3D, but yeah, like you said, when the characters interact, man, I think that was like the highlight of the anime was the character interactions.
Yeah.
I didn't care too much for the action. What's more important to me was how the characters interacted in trying to find the sun.
Yeah.
That was like the most important part about the anime. And that's what made this anime enjoyable, I think. Like, I couldn't care less for the fighting. The fighting, I mean, it had to be there. It's an action-adventure anime, so of course it had to be there. But it wasn't anything special. They had some pretty good animations at some points, but overall, I think animations was just okay.
I think Studio Passion made the right choice for picking Rokka, because Rokka, I swear, had the perfect amount of perfect splash of action with character interactions in between points for it to be an enjoyable show. So, thumbs up to Passion for this.
I think, yeah, Passion, I have to agree. They did make a good choice in doing Rokka, because plus Rokka I don't think is as popular as, let's say, something like Overlord or whatever.
I
In terms
think
of
Rokka is
novel-wise?
more popular than
Are you
Overlord.
Are you
No,
sure?
it isn't so. Overlord got like a
Well, no, I know it has a higher rating, but like
Yeah.
pre-animation.
You mean like first
Pre-
episode?
No, I
As
mean,
in before, like
As in,
Oh.
before both were light novels and now they're animes. I mean,
Yeah.
Rokka's
Before-
more popular before
like-
Oh,
the
okay,
anime
okay.
iterations.
Does Rokka have a manga at all? No,
No,
right?
it doesn't.
Oh, it's only Overlord does.
well,
Okay, the
it doesn't
thing with-
matter if it has a manga.
No, I was
What's
just
important
I'm
is
just
source
asking.
material.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, source material, I think, is the big point. But Rokka does not. It has a spin-off novel that focuses on Flamey, but that's about it. Because Overlord has the light novel and it has the manga. But
Yeah.
Enough of Overlord. But
What?
what happened? What happened? My audio cut off for a sec. But yeah, not too important. Okay, what were you talking about?
Well,
Oh yeah, we were talking about how this anime doesn't thrive on action. It thrives on the characters.
How was the animation though?
I think it was okay. I think there's a lot of inconsistencies that I didn't really like. Like, for example, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Like, Nashitanya's like boobs, they look weird. Like, you can like her design, but when it comes to like animating the character, like, it doesn't look that great.
To be honest, she looked like a rabbit with like.
Yeah, she is a rabbit,
She
though.
looked like
She is a rabbit.
She looked like a rabbit with like tits mounted on her. I was like, what the hell?
oh, okay. See, from time to time, well, actually, a majority of the time, the characters had like really strange proportions. Like part of their face would be like kind of flattened in. Or
Yeah,
something like
that's what I'm saying. It's
from like a 45 angle.
Huh?
That's what
is
I'm saying.
really
It's
weird.
like, dude, Rokka's like, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the animation that I really did not enjoy. That really it did kind of take away from watching this anime.
It's because it's Studio Passion.
Maybe that's
They're new.
well, maybe that's
But,
why.
like-
I was gonna say maybe that's why the
What?
the fight with the demons was so bland.
Well, the fights with the, even the inconsistent
The anim-
animation,
the
looked
animation-
better than the 3D animation fights.
Yeah.
It did look better than the 3 animation fights, but it still was.
The thing,
it was not interesting
Because
though.
with the fighting, I think with the fighting in general, I think they actually did try to make the fighting look like decent.
Yeah. And I think they did a good enough job with the fighting. Because, see, when things are moving fast, you don't really have to care about, like, proper proportions. If it looks cool and, like, moves fast, you'll be like, yes, that was,
Yes,
like...
and in the anime,
cool.
it looked cool enough. But I think the story definitely was made what made Rokka basically a good anime. It's just interesting story, the way it played out. It was kind of like all the Nashitanya lovers are gonna be so sad. I actually don't like Nashitanya as a character.
No, I don't like her.
Nasha.
I hate her.
Nashitanya. But yeah, all the Nashitanya lovers are gonna be so sad knowing she's the 7th.
Dude, I saw episode 1 or 2, and I was just like, damn. Like, I liked her design pre-episode 1. But once I saw her, I'm just like, I really dislike this girl.
I don't like Flamey that much.
I love Flamey, dude.
I don't like her that
Flamey's
much.
Awesome.
Flamey is such like a good.
I just have a problem with that type of character. That's about it. But I
Where
won't.
they're like
quiet character.
The quiet, shy characters.
She's not shy
No,
per se.
I'm just saying the quiet, shy.
Just those.
She's
like,
not timid though. She's not timid. She's quiet because she doesn't believe in others.
But she's like, almost, we already had this discussion.
But she has a reason for being quiet.
Yeah, but we almost had this discussion of how she's kind of like a tsundere too.
That's not the point.
She's expressing.
We won't go into that. We won't.
Expressing.
We won't
human
go
emotions,
into that.
Dude.
Okay, but spoilers. Another spoilers. I don't think we touched upon it, but the dark past that Flamey's hiding is that she's actually half demon,
I said that.
half human. Did you say that?
I did say that.
I don't know if you said
Yeah, he
that.
did.
But,
He did.
yeah, she's half demon, half human. That's why she has these internal issues about her morals and that.
If they do a second season, I hope they get more character development with them and kind of like get a lot of the characters out of the shell, kind of like get more depth in the characters. And that's why I kind of said that this could go on for like another like 24 episodes. Another one.
Not another 24, but another 12.
How
No,
many
no, no.
novels does it have right now?
I have no idea.
Volumes, sorry. How many
I
volumes
don't
is
know.
it?
No, because the reason why I say 24 is because the next 12 they're gonna spend all 12 episodes figuring out who the next 7th, who's the
I
next
think
5.
that'd be boring. They have to move on from that because
They
essentially,
do.
if you do that, you're gonna get the same anime as this first season of Rokka.
Exactly.
And I don't want to see that. I want to see them fight the boss demons.
I feel like we can be optimistic though, because it's not like it was written as a manga or anime, like just to sell on this point. It was an actual story written by some dude. So I'm pretty sure it's
that's some
flexible.
dude is
with it.
Ishio Yamagata.
Yeah.
And he only has another novel.
Well, I hope they
So-
do that. I mean, I hope they do go to the boss. I mean, those people did come to the
In
temple.
due time.
And yeah, in due time. I'm predicting basically they're just gonna try to. Basically, the next whole season is just the journey to get to the final boss.
Yo.
And then the last season, if they do a third season, it's basically gonna be them and the boss's territory fighting all these other demons.
Or they figure out who the actual 7th one is at the very end, and they just like,
No, they can't do that because they have to figure out before they fight the boss.
Oh, that's what
so
I mean.
they know who's on their side.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Or they all fight together with the damn spy because they
Which honestly, I could see that happening.
Yeah, I can too.
I could see all 8 of them coming
7.
together.
Oh, you're
8, including Nashitanya.
Yeah,
I
even
can see them
Nashitanya
all
coming
fighting
back.
the Demon King.
I can see Nashitanya coming back and fighting.
Can you see that scene?
I can, but I kind of want Nashitanya to die.
Yeah, I didn't want that character. I just don't like.
I actually expect some of the characters to die.
We'll see.
Hopefully, I just hope Hans doesn't die, but I think he is gonna die.
I don't think Hans will die. I think
uh,
a more likely character to die.
Mora.
Yeah,
I think
Mora.
Flamey, dude.
Flamey does have a pretty high chance.
Yeah, Flame.
Atlet has
I
a high
think
chance of
Hallett
dying.
has a highest, maybe.
Those other heroes don't have as high of a chance of dying as Atlet and Flamey do.
Because I mean, realistically though, I think Hans's instinct for survival was higher than anyone else.
Oh yeah.
They're not gonna kill your best, bro.
Well, no, but I'm gonna say is this gonna be like a Romeo and Juliet? Kill off the lovers couple.
No,
Flamey and Adlet.
No, Romeo and Juliet would be
Nashitanya and Atlet.
Oh yeah, well,
It would.
I guess it would.
It would.
But who wants that?
No one.
Who wants the Adlet Tanya? Nasha Tadlet.
No, dude, that was terrible. That was terrible.
That's really bad. I'm the one with the puns here.
You have bad puns anyway, so I don't want to hear it.
Shut up, Garrett.
Shut up, Sue.
Shut up, Garrett.
Shut up, Randy.
Alright, so there's basically one more question I want to ask you guys, and then we're going to get to the rating. Well, let's do this question first, and it is. Who do you guys think the 8th is gonna be?
Who wants to go first?
I will.
Garrett, go.
Mora.
Okay. Why?
Because she was so like sold on Adlet being, the spy, and she's just, trying to throw so much deception into him from, trying to convince the other characters that it was him, and it was him no matter what, and no matter what he said, he was the spy, and he was proving his points, and she was still doubting him. And then when they eventually all came around, and saw it from his point of view, she was the only one by herself. So she stands out the most to me.
Well, you only realized that after I said it.
You said it too, but I started thinking it, and I'm like,
Who did you think beforehand? Before I told you.
If Mario's your first pick, who would be your second pick? That's the 7th.
Okay, so I'll write out right now who I don't think it is. Adlet and Rolonia, is that it?
Rolonia.
Yeah, Rolonia. I'll write those 3 off, and Hans right now. I'll write those 4 off right now they cannot be the spy. Chamo, I don't really think she could be it either, to be honest. So it's more likely to be like Flamey, Goldoff, or Mora to me. Those are the 3.
Flamey, Goldoff,
and Mora.
Okay.
Because Goldoff could also be playing dumb and being inside with Nashatanya at the same time.
See, that's the thing. I have to disagree with you, because with Goldoff, I think it'd be too easy to put the blame on Goldoff just because he was Nashatanya's.
Yeah,
slave,
but then
it'd be way too easy.
It would be too easy, but that's the possibility too. Otherwise, I say my highest chance is Mora. The second highest could be is Flamey because she is part demon. That's the only reason right there.
Well, I don't think it's Flamey too, because Adlet already defended her.
Yeah.
In this first iteration.
That's why it's pretty hard. That's why I said the highest one is Mora right now. But out of anyone else, I had to say it'd be Goldoff or Flamey.
Okay, so how I see it, first you should look at everyone being guilty, and then you have to find points that make them innocent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adlet is easy. He's main. Well, I'll get to Adlet at the end. Flamey, she can't be. She's main girl, and plus her past makes it so that she can't be the 8th. Because she's trying to kill the Demon King. She was already on the Demon King side. So, there's no reason for her to, be the 8th. She's already a demon. That's too obvious. Chamo, I think she's just not smart enough. She's not clever.
No.
She's just a kid that, thinks that killing is good or, is fun. So she's out of that one. What else is there? Hans. Hans cannot be the 8th. Because in the fight between Hans and Adlet, there's no reason for Hans not to kill Adlet. So it doesn't make sense if he's not the 8th.
Yeah, because if he was the fake, he would have killed Adlet.
Yeah, and if he was the 8th, I think this writer is just really bad. Because it doesn't make sense
to not kill him off right there.
For him not to kill Adlet. And then Nashatanya doesn't count because she's the 7th.
She's the first fake.
Who else is there? Goldoff. All right. Goldoff cannot be the 8th because Goldoff had that moment where he was, how they split up? It was Flamey and Mara, and it was Goldoff and Nashatanya. They all split up to look for Adlet. And then you can see Nashatanya trying to convince Goldoff, right? So it's there's no way that Goldoff is the 8th because Nashatanya is trying to convince one of the resistance, one of the good guys, to be make the wrong decisions. So that's why Goldoff I don't think is the 8th. Rolonia, I don't think she's the 8th because I have more doubt. There's nothing to prove Rolonia good though. But I feel that there's a higher chance that Mara is the 8th because Mara, she is what Gary said before. Mara was pretty adamant at killing Adlet. And then in that moment where they were going to go out to look for Adlet, she made the announcement that Adlet pretty much killed Hans, or critically wounded Hans. So it made her pretty bad for lying. To us, it made it look
really bad. Because when I first saw that too, I was like, wait, that's such a that's such a douche move. Why would you do that?
And then the other reason is that I can't remember her name. It's that sun. It's the
Oh,
Saint
Ryura?
of Sun.
Yura?
Ryura? That's her name?
Yeah.
The Saint of Suns, right? She went missing a month ago. And the person that is closest to Ryura is probably Mara. So, like, Mara is probably the bad guy because she's probably the only person that can kidnap Ryura without anyone noticing. Because no one doubts her anyways.
Yeah.
And then she's the closest, so she can capture Ryura. So, like, there's two reasons that make Mara look pretty bad. But I kind of like Mara, too, because she has Rina Sato as her voice actor.
He's hella
And
biased.
plus, she is, like, she has really good design, so I really like her.
Hella biased.
And then
Athlete.
Atlet has a pretty good chance of, like, not too good, but he has a chance of being the 8th, because my theory is that if they can inherit the Saints, not the Saint, but the Six Leaves thing, then what if he got it? What if he inherited from his master?
Yeah.
Although, like, that theory, like, it assumes that there is a inheritance. So that theory's bad, but that is a
I
possibility.
mean, I think it is a possibility, though, because...
we don't know enough about the universe.
Yeah. That's the thing.
So it's a possibility, but that's under the assumption that there is an inheritance. And that's just like hope and like wishful thinking, because I don't want Mara to be the 8th.
I think the inheritance theory is legit, is because Flamey was already killing potential Braves. So that means the next person who would be a Brave would have to inherit that symbol. Or something like that.
No.
Or before maybe they all get the symbols or something like that. That's when Flamey went on her journey to go kill. Like,
well, then how did Nashitanya inherit her brave, or is that just a fake tattoo?
that's probably just like a fake.
Just a fake. And then there's another one.
Wouldn't it be let me ask this, wouldn't it be a plot twist if Nashitanya was actually a resistance the whole time?
No,
but
I think that'd be bad.
wouldn't that be bad?
That'd be really dumb.
Like if they killed her off and then all of a sudden...
I think it's a better plot twist to have Adler as the fake.
inheritance.
And he didn't know that he was the fake.
Yeah.
I think
That's
that'd
why
be,
I brought that up. But then you're saying that
I think
Nashitania's
that'd be,
actually one of the good guys.
personally,
Like,
I think that'd be
dumb.
the most interesting.
Yeah, that would be the most interesting, because then that would also come with the theory of all 7 of them working together.
Yeah.
Which I
but,
think could happen.
Yeah.
like I said, it's wishful thinking because I just don't want Mara to be bad. I actually like Mara. And then there's another thing, right? You remember how Mara and Hans went to the like out in the night to look for Alan, right? And then Mara asks Hans to reveal his tattoo. And he tells Hans, if one of the heroes die, then one of the petals should be gone. Mara's tattoo is on her back. No one can see it. And plus she asked Hans to look at the tattoo. So you can almost kind of say that Mara doesn't want to reveal her tattoo. Because if ever they, because now Hans knows. And if ever they see the tattoo that her tattoo is not missing a petal, that means she's bad.
They make sense because
what I mean,
because because the symbol basically is in somewhere that's visible that you can see.
Yeah.
The hand, the chest.
Well, Chama's on her thigh. That's easier to
Yeah.
see. Mara's is completely covered up. You can't even see that. But she asked Hans to look at the tattoo to confirm if you could know if you knew one of the heroes died, you would find out if one of the petals was missing.
But then the thing is though, I feel like the back is a liable place.
It is a plausible place.
It's a plausible place to put it, because think of it more like it's on a specific body part and it's on a different location for everybody. If everyone had the same thing,
I can understand that, but I'm just saying, it was Mara asking Hans to look at his tattoo to see if someone was dead, to prove the point.
Oh, I see what we're saying now.
Yeah.
So people trust her so much, trust Mara so much, it just makes her look so bad.
Well, the thing is though, Mara looks like the leader.
They blindly trust Mara.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's either gonna come down to Mara or Adlet. I think Adlet being the fake and he doesn't know he's the fake would be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But
I
Mara
would
has the
like
absolute highest chance of being the 8th. And then even if you don't assume anything, then Chama might be out there too. But
yeah,
I think it'd be cooler to have.
I think
over.
It's hard to not assume things though in this anime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I said,
it's a lot of guessing. It's like a lot of choosing and guessing in this anime.
Which is one of the things that You know, as I was watching it, I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna pay attention to any of the hints they're giving me. I'm just gonna watch it for what it is.
Dude, no, I swear, like, though,
Because when I was watching it, I did not get any hints, man.
Really?
I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna watch
Dude,
it.
I swear, like, they give so many hints for Nasha Tanya being the 7th.
Yeah.
Because episode 10, she goes like batshit crazy and like.
Hell yeah! Like at first she was all like, "Oh, Alan,
No,
you know, I
even-
trust you."
Even
And I was like,
when
really?
they got to the temple, she went like batshit crazy.
Yeah, she went batshit crazy and broke the tablet.
Oh yeah.
Immediately when I saw that, I was just like, damn,
Red
that
flag,
is like,
red
red flag.
flag.
She did like the most out of anything there. There's no reason for her to go that crazy, but she did. So it's like, for viewers, you should see that that's bad. There were also other flags I can't remember too well, but one of the biggest flags is the ending theme. The ending theme, like, completely gives it away.
Oh, the ending theme?
If you see it, like, then, like, you knew right away that he was bad. She was bad. Because the title of that ending theme is Dance in the Fake.
And that was her ending theme?
That's her ending theme. If you heard it and you saw the title of that song, you'd be like, she's bad.
Okay, well, Sue picked on it right away. I was like, I did not pick it. Because I skipped the ending. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't like the opening.
No, I skipped it too. But like, if you listen to it, like, the song just gives away that she's bad. And then you look at the title of the name, that also gives it away.
So there's a lot of hints that you picked up on. There was some that I picked up on that. Well, one, I didn't like her, so that's the main thing.
Well, that doesn't warrant her being bad.
I know it doesn't warrant her,
It's
but
because you don't like her.
Guts in episode 1, like, told me that I didn't like her. So I'm just like, I don't know why, but like, everything about her just like really turns me off. And then now, like, at the end of the day, she like reveals her true face.
And then-
it's like, oh, that's why I didn't like her.
yeah, that's why I didn't like her. She's a bitch.
But yeah, Nasha Tanya. She's an ex no go.
Yeah.
She's an ex no go. Flamey is like best girl.
Yep.
Flamey is best waifu in Rokka. But yeah, we're done with that one, and let's get to rating. You guys need time to think. Who wants to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Me?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I'm like stuck in the middle of like B and C, but ultimately, I think I have to give this one a C. Positive story was good. I like the element of having to like, you have to figure out who the 7th is. I like the character development and the character interactions between certain characters. And I think story pacing wise, it was actually pretty decent. Negatives: 3D animation consistencies. I thought the fighting was okay, which is not exactly negative, but it's just an okay point. What other stuff? Some of the characters I blatantly just outright don't like them. Like Mara.
Dude,
Nasha
but
Tanya.
Mara's...
Her design. Okay, her design is good.
I like
I
Mara.
don't like her as a character. I don't like Goldov as a character. I don't like Nasha Tanya as a character. Because I haven't seen enough from them to have me like those characters.
There's a lot of iffy characters.
I mean, Nasha Tanya, of course, you've seen enough because she's the bad guy. But Goldov and Mara, I have to see more to
Yeah,
decide whether I like him a lot or not.
I agree with that.
But yeah, the negatives, overall, I just have to give this anime a C rated.
For an enjoyment level, I'd rate it a B because I felt like the pacing of this story was pretty good. There was nothing bad about it, even though, like, you guys say the beginning slow. I felt like it was paced pretty well. Animation, I didn't have too much expectation for this anime in terms of animation because it was Studio Passion, and I knew they weren't that good, but they did good enough, like, fight scenes. And even with all the inconsistencies, I felt like Rokka no Yuusha had like a good enough atmosphere or universe for me to like not care about it too much. The 3D animation though is definitely turn off. The music, see, I wanted to go into the OST to listen to the music, but the OST is not out yet because it's only been a week, I think, or 2. So
Been 2 weeks.
We have to wait like a month for the OST to come out at least.
So you can't judge that.
So I can't judge the music except for like
what you've heard,
the opening theme and the ending theme, and which I do really like the second opening theme. That I love that song. And then for ending themes, I can't decide between the one by Michi, which is the first OP, which is Atlas ED, or Flamey's ED. I actually like Flamey's ED too, sung by Aoyuki, the voice actress. But I don't like Yoko Hikasa's song. That one is kind of trippy for me. Yeah, B.
So B for you?
Oh, okay. Garrett?
I was a toss up with you, Randy, but I ultimately will say a C also. Like, you know, for an anime, I didn't have too much expectations, like Sue said, and I kind of, you know, the first episode completely turned me off, so I dropped it immediately, and then the only reason I am like marathoned it was because Sue was marathoning it. So like, if I had it had a really bad like week to week, you know, back to back episode, I would recommend doing like marathoning this. Like anyone that watched it, you know, they could. I mean, can understand like a lot of them had a ton of frustration just watching it because it was not good. Like it was the pacing was way too slow. That's like the biggest con for me. The fighting scenes and the 3D animation were not good until they fought the characters. Like once the characters started fighting, that's when it got really interesting. But like first, you know, like 5 episodes, it was just like meh. Like until they got into the temple, that's when it got really good. But for like a week to week thing, it was just way too many cons for that. So that's why I give it a C. But like for character, you know, development, I want to see more of that. So like, you know, maybe if there's a second season for this, my rating for this would go up to a B.
All right, sounds good. So as an anime as it stands,
C for
Garrick
me.
C rated, Sue B rated, and me C rated. So I think it's gonna be rating. And now last question: would you recommend this to just any anime watcher?
I would. It's pretty easy.
I have to agree. I'd recommend. I think this one is this anime is fairly easy to get into. A lot of people already like it a lot.
Yeah.
So that tells you a lot about the anime already, and yeah, it's fun. It's like a big game of Resistance. So
Yeah.
If anything, I think there should be a second season, and Studio Passion should really take up the mantle of trying to
up the production.
Yeah, try to get the second season. Well, they don't even have to up the production, or like I guess they could.
I think they
should.
Because
They
if
need
anything,
to.
second season is
Animation.
gonna be like hella fighting. So
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the 3D demons, please, man. That
Or
was
up the
disgusting.
demons, like to make them more like
well, they can now because the demon
Well, no,
designs are set.
the demons. Well, they can up the like. I don't know I want. It's not production. The words I'm looking for is like not production, but it's like they need to make the demons look a little bit more not so plain. And
I think the demons.
I don't think they're plain. They look plain because they're 3D, man. It makes them look inanimate. They move so clunky. That's why it's bad. Like 3D animation can look.
well, no,
smooth,
but the demon
but
with
they're completely clunky.
the demon with the gentleman hat, top hat, and the black crow rings.
Dude.
I mean, he's like meh
No,
to me.
his design is not even simple. You try drawing him out, he's really hard to draw.
Yeah, okay, he's complex.
But he's just too.
Whatever.
He just has too much to him.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not plain at all, but he's just too extravagant.
Well,
Yeah, but then imagine him being like a fight, like him fighting. That's gonna be like, and if they do it in 3D, he's gonna look hella like ugly.
I'm gonna close this out and say this is A rated. We got Sue. Any shoutouts?
Shout out to second season.
All right, Garrick.
Shout out to third season.
What the hell?
My shout out is just Rokka. You're better than I thought you were.
I agree.
lot
I agree
better
with
than
that.
you.
I agree.
I
I
thought
love that
you
shout
were.
out.
But yeah, that's gonna be A rated. That's gonna be Rokka no Yuusha, and we're out. Peace.
Man. Barchester, St. Mountains. Those mountains, man.
Mountains. The mountains.
Dude, man.
Those MILF melons.
Dude, Mara's hot. Plus, it's Rina Sato, man.